Hello, all you ghosts and goblins out there. I'm Andrew,
I'm Ashton.
And I'm Sean.
and we are the Night Scholars, exploring the mystifying world of cryptids, ghosts, ghouls, and all things supernatural. Today, we will be talking about the terror of the old Alton Bridge, the Goatman.
All right. I've been looking forward to this one for a little bit. I figured we've done enough creatures in Andrew's area that want to kill him. Why not switch to something more local?
That wants to kill you? Because I'm down for that.
It's entirely possible. You know, when you go seeking things out like this, they tend to get angry.
Yeah?
Anyways,
Have you gone and sought it out?
Hmm?
Have you gone and sought it out?
no, not yet. It's a bit of a long trip, and Sarah doesn't want to do it. I don't understand why.
I
Yeah, me
think
neither.
that's a deal breaker and that you guys should just get a divorce. I mean, you'll
Eh.
be alone for the rest of your life, but
Well, if these origins are anything to go on, it won't be a very long life.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I found several different origin stories. Most of them agree, but a couple of them had a little bit of difference. Almost all of them agree on the way it happened, but several of them disagreed on his hunting habits. Now, all of them talk about a man named Oscar Washburn, and a black man in Texas who just happened to sell goats and was pretty good at it, according to most of the legends. And apparently, this didn't sit well with the clan, who decided that he needed to be tossed off the side of the Alton Bridge and hung. And what I couldn't find is why he was turned into a cryptid. That was one thing I couldn't find. And most of them just said out of revenge and towards any members of the clan, or revenge to anybody who crosses the bridge. Edge, he would appear and judge them.
do you get judged to death?
Um, Basically, from what I could tell, if you're, this was only in a couple of them, mind you, that if you try to summon him, it's a lot like other cryptids. If you're a bad person, well, you're going to meet a similar fate to his.
What about the stories of him specifically going after couples making out in the car?
No, I didn't find anything about the couples. Most everything I found was about descendants of the clan and him getting revenge on them.
I mean, from what I understood, he threw anybody off the bridge who was there when he was there.
See, I
Yeah.
heard that he attacks specifically, or not specifically, but he does attack couples who are in their car making out. Like it's kind of like one of those things where Texans are told like, hey, or not for the Texas Goatman, it's just like, hey, uh, if you are making out when you're not supposed to be in your car and you're being naughty, then he will come and kill you. So don't have sex or you die.
I mean, that's kind of like the old story about the guy with the hook for a hand.
Yes.
Mhm. Which that'd be a fun future episode, but good luck getting any sort of information on it.
He's just a ghost. We could probably lump him in with like the women in white and everything else, you know.
Okay, fair enough. But no, actually, I didn't find anything about out the couples making out or anything. It was all about vengeance, or if you were stupid enough to summon him. Which one thing I did see is if you go to the middle of the bridge and knock on it 3 times, he'll appear before you at midnight.
Do you have to knock at midnight, or like if you do it and
Yeah.
then go home, will he show up at your house at midnight?
Uh, Probably not. Most of them said you had to knock at midnight for him to appear, but
Uh,
uh, he seems to be tied to the old Alton Bridge.
so what if I knock at 11:59? Is he gonna wait a minute, or is it just approximately midnight? It's probably approximately, right?
Probably. I don't know. Spirits kind of tend to be sticklers about time for whatever reason.
Also, midnight's an interesting time considering the witching hour is was it between was it 3 a.m., right? 3 and 4 a.m.
Yep, 3 and 4 a.m. is the witching hour. So I don't know why he's active so early in the morning, but
Well, hey, that way you can have fun all night.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose that's true. I don't know. I think it's worth the drive up there to see it and test my luck.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be
Yeah.
down for you to go down there and test your luck. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's both of my co-hosts who want me to get kidnapped by the Goatman.
Well,
I see how it is
Nobody said
tonight.
anything about kidnap. We all said straight up murder.
yeah, I mean, it's two different charges.
I mean, to be fair, we did try and stick the Wendigo on Andrew.
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
To be fair, I want the Wendigo stuck on me.
I'm calling the police.
Ah,
Speaking of the police, I don't know if the source that I got this from was legitimate because I didn't actually like look up newspaper articles, but did you guys see that in Fort Worth, like that they actually made an announcement about the goat man being found and that a bunch of people brought their guns to like the area to go like track down the goat man?
That is an extremely American thing.
that
It's
is
an
the most
extremely
Texan thing I've
Texas
heard all
thing
day.
too.
I wish I
That's the
was
most,
there.
that's the most
Yeah,
Texan
me
thing I've heard all
too. I
day.
mean, it did end up being like a kid ended up like admitting to it like way later, and he was like, "Hey, that was actually me just wearing a mask and pulling a prank on the town."
Yeah, I did see about the pranks that there's a guy who likes to dress up as the Goatman and dance in the daytime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, any excuse to bring your guns and drink beer in a public place, am I right?
Yep. Exactly.
Oh,
There's
God
nothing
bless
more
America.
American than that. Toby Keith would be proud.
Yeehaw, roll tide.
I thought you were a war eagle.
I am. Just whenever I'm making fun of stereotypes, you have to throw in a roll tide
I
because
That's fair.
mean,
Auburn's way classier than that.
That's fair. That's fair.
at WVU, Mountaineers, we burn couches after the games.
See, UCF doesn't do anything fun like that. They just go all jump into a fountain once a year.
At the school that I graduated from, if you got into a relationship, you got thrown in the pond.
How many times did you get thrown into the pond, Ashton?
They mostly did that to the guys.
Ah,
But the guy that I dated while there, they didn't throw him into the pond, but they did shove him into the shower. I don't know if they like tie him up, but they did shove him in the shower with clothes on.
I feel like the
that's fair.
pond would be less dangerous. There's
Probably.
too many hard and sharp objects in a shower. That just sounds like a good way to get a head injury.
See, that's what the goat man does. Is he takes you home and shoves you in his shower.
And he cleaned you.
Oh
Dun, dun,
no, the
dun.
horror. I was purposely not bathing because a celebrity touched my hand once.
Oh god, which one? So is it Guy Fieri?
I feel like it was
No,
Guy
I would
Fieri.
be taking so many showers after Guy Fieri touched me.
Oh,
Oh wow, just all the shade towards Guy Fieri on this podcast. Well, it looks
uh,
like we're never get him.
Anyway, so the Goat Man. We kind of touched on origin stories, but I think you kept trying to ask Andrew a question, Sean. I kept interrupting you.
Yeah, that tends to be what you do. Because you always dismiss my sources. But Andrew, uh, did you find any different origin stories? Because I saw a couple that were a mob that drove over the bridge without their headlights on. I guess that could allude to the couples in the car.
I mean, I've seen that. Most of what I saw though, it involves somebody being murdered on the bridge.
Yeah.
Just a few various ways. Also, there's more stories because there's quite a few apparitions that show up on the bridge, including women in white and women in red.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the difference is between those two, but they both end up killing people. So same difference, really. Their motivations might just be different.
Off the top of my head, women in white, it killed their children after they were born, and the women in red might have died in childbirth. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I thought the women and wife killed their husbands or were killed by their husbands or something to do with an affair.
Yeah, it's they killed their children and themselves after and possibly their husband because their husband was unfaithful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's definitely a thing that happened.
Yeah, because the bridge itself has more stories than just the goat man. He's just the most popular one. I mean, for obvious reasons. I mean, do you want to tell for the folks what the Goatman looks like?
I couldn't get an accurate description, and let's see what this one says. I do have something over here, though.
And pick the fun one.
Pick the fun one.
Yeah, not the one where it's just a guy carrying a goat head. That one's not very fun.
All right, let's see what we got here. Well, you sounds like you already have one in mind. So while I search this, so I try and look through my searches for the fun one. What do you got?
Alright, so the Goatman of Alton Bridge, the Goatman of Denton, Texas. He is a tall man. He has the head of a goat, the torso of a man, and also the legs and hooves of a goat. In some depictions it has him without the legs, and it's just like human legs, human body, and a goat head. Or it has the description of it's just a guy carrying one goat head, maybe two goat heads. But the fun one is that he actually has the legs and head of a goat.
But the body of a human. Yeah, I just saw that one.
So kind of like a minotaur, I guess, but a goat.
Yeah.
Minotaur, but goat.
Yeah.
So more like a really
Just for
twisted
the audience out there, is he like physically fit?
Yeah. He's I mean, more or less, yeah. He's pretty muscular from what I understand.
This one says he's 7 feet tall, so
I mean, height doesn't mean you're fit.
no. But Ashton likes things that are taller than her, which is almost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Isn't he like about 9 feet? Because I know there's like some pride that Texans have that he's taller than the other Goatmen.
I didn't see that, but it makes sense. Why, you got something on those other men?
Look, everything's bigger in Texas, so I just am hoping that the Goatman of Texas is larger.
I mean, maybe the Goatmen in the other places are only like 6 feet tall. And the 7 feet tall one is the bigger of the Goatmen.
Yeah, there is a story that I'm not going to go into like too much detail of, but basically that the Goatman of Texas has a bunch of offspring with a goat, and that's why there are different origins in other states and other sightings of it. Is because it's like little like spawn.
Okay.
I mean, technically it'd be its kids, wouldn't it? Because it's a goat.
Yeah.
Get out. Get out.
I would if I could, buddy.
This one says that the reason he is the Goatman is because he hung a sign on the bridge that said "This way to the Goatman."
Yeah.
And so that's why he is known as the Goatman, is because that's what he called himself in life, and that's what he became in death. Is the Goatman. Anyways.
Are you saying that the Goatman's not alive?
Well, this one says that when they went to go check at their handiwork, he was missing from the rope.
I would say undead might be the better descriptor.
Okay.
I still find it so interesting that like the other Goatmen have like their origin stories, but like about like how they turned into this creature, but we really don't have one for this guy. Like we have like he was a person and then suddenly he was a Goatman.
It feels very Trogdory.
I just want to know how the fusion happened.
I mean, I've seen where it says it's more of like demonic origins. Which, if you look at like a lot of spirits, like poltergeists and things as well, a lot of times they appear or manifest because of residual energy, normally negative residual energy, and that could be more so, I suppose, what this phenomenon is.
Interesting.
Now, also looking into the origins, I saw some things that say there was some rumors of satanic cults in the area, that's where the Goatman could have come from, because most all the legends say that I found couldn't find a record of a man named Oscar or Washburn, nor of a man being lynched in the time, but given that time period he lived in, it wouldn't be surprising and if they just didn't record it.
Yeah, but if he had a famous goat farm, like one that was really well known, his farm at least would be recorded somewhere more than likely if it was that man.
If he was successful enough to hang a sign off the side of a bridge and attract attention to the clan.
Yeah, I'd say there should be some record of him existing. Enough about the origin of it though. Sean, tell me about the bridge.
The bridge itself, it's an old bridge. Edge. There's
Even in the name, buddy.
Yeah, the old Alton Bridge. It has been. I can't tell exactly when it was decommissioned, but there's been so many sightings and so this thing on it, and other, like you mentioned, other spooky happenings that it just doesn't get used except by people like me, stupid enough to go and search it out.
It's actually incorporated in the hiking trail now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's mainly viewed by what's the word? By tourists, I guess, and hikers.
Yeah, you cannot drive on it anymore. They have made absolutely certain of that. So, sorry if that's how you wanted to go out, Ashton.
Yeah, but
No, I already went to Denton with the Goatman, and I don't want to push my luck any further.
No, that's fair. So the we haven't really described what the bridge looks like, right?
Yeah, it's an old iron bridge.
It's old iron truss bridge, right? And it's built
1884.
Yep, and it's built over a creek, over specifically Hickory Creek, and it connects the cities of Denton to Copper Canyon. I mean, I've looked at pictures. I mean, it really is. It's a pretty bridge.
It's a very pretty bridge. It's definitely the type of bridge that if I'm going to haunt a place, this is the type of place I'd want to haunt. Because at least you got a good view.
Yeah, like if I was hiking, I would not mind taking a walk across that bridge.
Would you cross it at midnight?
Oh, I would.
So basically what you're saying is that this bridge just asks to be crossed.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that is what we're saying.
And then, of course, you have to stop and take photos and everything, so that really gives the moment of opportunity.
Listen, when you get distracted by something, like that, and you in an area of known hauntings, and whatever happens to you at that point is on you. Don't get distracted.
Like really, anytime you're out in nature, like when I go out into the woods, if I'm with somebody, like I know where they're at all times. I do not let them out of my sight. Like when I went up to Hawking Hills National Forest, and I did a couple of the trails up there a few years back. Yeah, I had my sister and her dog with me, and I knew where they were at all times. You know.
It's not because you don't want them replaced by a Wendigo.
It'd be a skinwalker to replace them, but I don't want them to, disappear and then be in the next missing 411 book.
Fair.
So, are there any traits that, like, the Goatman has? Because, like, I heard that he can, like, mimic voices, but that just seems to be, like, something that they tack on to everything.
No, the most I was able to find about it was people would have the smell of like rotting meat, or they would hear snarling and in the woods, but whenever they went to either side of the bridge, both things stopped. They could only hear and smell it in the middle of the bridge.
Interesting.
That is strange.
That would make me not want to walk across it, because I'd be like, wow, this is terrible smell. I'm just going to go home.
Yeah.
No, that is fair.
There's been a lot of reports of it like grabbing people just to startle them. Of course, it might not be him. Like I said, it's a very haunted bridge. We could probably do an entire episode on everything that haunts this bridge.
Yeah, I mean, we could. But there's a lot more information on the bridge than there is the Goatman.
That's true. That is true. The Goatman, while a very popular tale, is not one that's well recorded. It's very oral history.
Probably because everybody's died.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, not everybody. I mean, I'm looking right now at some Google reviews of the old Alton Bridge.
Yeah.
But did they go at midnight? Or is that even important? Is it just like anybody who crosses over could be killed, or do you have to be there like at midnight?
Probably at nighttime in general, I imagine. But actually, I do have
spiritually.
I have a nice 4-star review here. It's fairly new. The review was put out 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Went ghost hunting later in the evening. The trails were clear, but there was definitely some graffiti. This place is very popular, so we had to wait until after 1 a.m. to do our sessions. Got some pretty creepy stuff on our devices. Gets spooky at night while hiking deeper into the forest. If you cross the street, you'll find a hidden path, but there's a lot of trash.
Hmm.
But that's where we got a really creepy vibe, and we had to end the night. Overall, I would probably come back during a weekday instead. Wish it had better maintenance. Texas, fix the Goatman Bridge.
Good thing
Here's
with
an
that.
interesting.
That
Here's
last
an
line was
interesting
me.
Okay, so I did find out it was in use until not 18. It was in use until 2001. On you could drive across this thing and take your luck with your sweetie on this bridge, but now it's, let's see, hey, it was big enough to only carry one car off at a time.
And they would have to honk to announce their presence. Yeah.
Yep, which is definitely a good way to attract a vengeful spirit.
It is, and that's the worst part, because there's only one way to go once you're on it.
Yep, can't back up. But yeah,
Uh,
so
I have another review here. Would you like to hear it?
oh,
I
absolutely.
would.
Alright, so this one is a 1-star review.
Rude.
And to be completely transparent, I did hear this review when re-listening to a podcast episode from the Cryptid Sisters about this. But it was 4 years ago this review came out, and I'm going to read it as it is written. Okay?
Okay.
Don't go. There's a goat man. Haunted. No one will believe me, but apparently it takes victims and mimics their voices. I was walking alone around 1 a.m. to explore, and I heard voices saying, "You can run?" And I looked around and didn't see anything except glowing ball? Eyes, maybe? And there's no way something over 6 feet with glowing eyes could be human, I think is what they meant. So I ran. Be aware. Be careful.
This is the best review possible.
You want another one?
Yeah, sure, we got time for one more.
Alright, so this one is from 6 years ago. Don't ever walk on this bridge. So a friend told me about this bridge. She told me about some really odd story about some goat dude or something. I thought it was cool, but later when my friend and I went to our summer job, we had to get a setup at Texas Motor Speedway, and we were driving back. We were near the bridge. We asked if we could go on the bridge, and her mom said yes. We get out, and we were acting incredibly stupid. I already had a bad impression on this place because of all the graffiti. But that was okay. We were jumping on the bridge, messing about like teenagers do. My friend said, "I spit on you, goat man," and she spit on the bridge in the middle. We both felt kind of lightheaded and really heavy. I couldn't lift myself up anymore, and I decided to sit down. So did my friend. When we sat down, we couldn't move at all. We were both facing the front of the bridge, and we were on the middle. While sitting on the ground, unable to move, we see this horned man rising from the end of the bridge. He was staring in our eyes. Somehow he was able to make eye contact with us at the same time. We didn't know what to do. We couldn't yell or scream or speak, you name it. We couldn't do it. At all. It all stopped when her mom yelled from the car and said, "Girls, let's go." She was all the way in the parking lot past the woods. After she yelled that everything stopped, in the snap of the finger. I would have said in the blink of an eye, personally, but
That is a better metaphor.
You've never lived in Texas, and it shows.
yeah.
But yeah, that sounds like a terrifying experience. Why would you willingly provoke it? I mean, summoning it's bad enough, but spitting
Well, they're
it?
teenagers.
Yeah.
I would have willingly provoked anything when I was a teenager. I
Um,
tried to get kidnapped when I was a teenager.
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
mean, also, that was probably around the time back when BuzzFeed Unsolved or Unexplained or whatever was still around, and they did the whole episode on the Goatman.
Yeah,
And that was a line, "I spit on you, Goatman. I spit on your bridge," or something like that. Is a line that one of the guys on there said.
amazing.
Gotcha. So they were trying to imitate BuzzFeed, which is always a bad idea.
I agree.
Yeah, that's not a list of things you should do.
Yeah, looking at some photos here though of other people have taken of the area. It actually does look like a very beautiful area.
Yeah, Denton's really pretty in general.
It is like I'm looking at the creek here as it flows below the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice actually.
So you're saying that you agree with the Goatman for choosing that area to be his haunting grounds?
I mean, if I had to haunt somewhere, it would be out in the middle of nowhere, personally. So
This is right by university instead, so you can really get all the college kids.
no,
Oh yeah,
nice.
plenty of victims.
Yeah, I mean sometimes you have the urge to throw college kids off of bridges. I mean it's it's a pretty normal way to feel about them.
As somebody who works at a university, I will neither agree nor disagree with this statement.
But will you admit to wanting to try and throw me off a bridge at some point?
Absolutely, 1000%.
Yeah.
If I knew that I could, then I would.
I mean, Sean, remember, if you do end up going to the bridge, though, there's two things you need to do. You know what they are?
What?
Be aware. Be careful.
Always look out for hidden Ashtons.
I agree. She's pretty small. She could hide a lot of places.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you never know where I might be.
I've just been lucky enough for her to always announce her presence whenever I've been near her.
That's what you think.
And on that note, what do you think of this thing? Y'all think the Goatman exists?
I'm gonna go with a no on this one. Like, I know that there are like stories and everything, but I think it's just like a creepy area. But I don't know if I believe the Texas Goatman.
That's fine.
Fair
You got
enough.
plenty of other ones to choose from.
I thought you were about to say you don't believe in Texas, and I was gonna say that's a very, very logical thing to do.
I did get out of Texas.
You did. You did.
As you should.
I'm gonna say that there's more evidence for other things existing on this bridge than the Goatman, but I'll keep maybe leaning towards no.
Well, I'll tell you what I believe, Sean.
Yeah.
I think if people go to the Night Scholars Podcast.myshopify.com and buy enough shirts, I will personally go to Denton, Texas and challenge the Goatman to a fist fight.
And I'll go right there with you so I can record it and laugh at you.
Oh, I think I would win. I mean, my cryptid boxing classes are going pretty well so far. I think I could take the Goatman.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out how many people want to see this.
Thank you again, our ghosts and goblins, for listening to the Night Scholars. You all be good to each other. Don't answer the scratching at your window.
Or do.
But most importantly, stay safe out there.
Good night.